There are days when the alarm clock goes off and you just want to roll over and stay in bed. Days when the weight of stress, fatigue, or self-doubt makes showing up feel impossible. But those are the most important days to show up. Success doesn't care about how you feel in the moment, it cares about whether or not you do the work. It's easy to show up when you're motivated, energized, or inspired, but that's not what defines greatness. The real test comes when you're drained, discouraged, or uncertain, and you still find a way to take action. Think about the champions, the legends, the people you admire. They didn't become great by only showing up when it was convenient or when they were in the mood. They showed up on the hard days, the rough days, the days when everything seemed to be working against them. Because that's what separates the dreamers from the doers. The dreamers wait for perfect conditions, the doers create their own. If you want to achieve something extraordinary, you have to develop the discipline to push through those moments when every fiber of your being wants to quit. Feelings are fleeting. They come and go like waves on a beach. If you let them dictate your actions, you'll never achieve consistency. Some days you'll wake up full of fire and determination, ready to conquer the world. Other days that fire will feel like a flicker barely there. But here's the truth. Action creates momentum. Even if you don't feel like it at the start, just showing up and starting the process can reignite that fire. The hardest part is often taking that first step. Once you do, the rest begins to fall into place. Showing up when you don't feel like it isn't about ignoring your feelings or pretending they don't exist. It's about acknowledging them and choosing to act anyway, saying, yes, I'm tired. Yes, I'm stressed. Yes, I'd rather be doing something else, but my goals are bigger than my feelings right now. That's how you build resilience, mental toughness, and a work ethic that can withstand the ups and downs of life. It's not about being perfect, it's about being committed. Think about the power of compounding. Each time you show up, you're adding a brick to the foundation of your success. One missed day might not seem like a big deal, but over time, those missed days add up. Similarly, every day you show up, even when you don't feel like it, you're building momentum. You're creating a habit of discipline that will carry you through challenges. It's not the big, flashy efforts that create lasting success. It's the small, consistent actions repeated over and over again. There will always be excuses. I'm too tired. I don't have time. I'll do it tomorrow. But here's the harsh truth. Tomorrow isn't guaranteed, and neither is success. The opportunities you have today won't always be there. Waiting for the perfect moment to show up is a trap because perfection doesn't exist. The only moment you have control over is right now. Even if you're not at your best, even if your effort isn't perfect, showing up is always better than sitting on the sidelines. When you show up, you send a message not just to the world, but to yourself. You're telling yourself that your goals matter, that your dreams are worth fighting for, and that you're the type of person who keeps promises even when it's hard. That builds trust in yourself. And that trust is the foundation of confidence. Confidence doesn't come from luck or talent. It comes from knowing that you have the discipline to do what needs to be done, no matter how you feel. Ultimately, showing up when you don't feel like it is about taking control of your life. It's about refusing to let temporary emotions dictate your future. You're not always going to have the perfect circumstances, and you're not always going to feel 100%, but if you can learn to push through and show up regardless, you'll be unstoppable. The rewards of consistency far outweigh the temporary discomfort of taking action. When we think about success, we often picture the final result, the championship trophy, the dream job, the $1 million business. But what we rarely see are the countless small steps that led there. Big wins are never about one monumental action. They're the result of consistent, deliberate effort over time. It's the seemingly insignificant steps repeated day in and day out that build a path to greatness. If you're only focused on the end goal, you'll miss the importance of those small, everyday actions. Every journey, no matter how long or challenging, begins with a single step It's easy to feel overwhelmed by the magnitude of your goals and think you need to take a giant leap to make progress. But trying to do too much at once often leads to burnout or frustration. Instead, breaking your goal into manageable, bite-sized pieces allows you to focus on what you can do today, right now, to move closer to your dream. Those small steps may feel insignificant at the moment, but over time, they compound into something extraordinary. Small steps allow you to build momentum. Think about pushing a heavy object. At first, it takes a lot of effort just to get it moving. But once it starts rolling, it gets easier and easier to keep it going. That's exactly how progress works. The small actions you take today might feel like they're barely making a dent, but they're setting the stage for bigger breakthroughs. Momentum is powerful, and it's built one step at a time. Once you have it, you can accomplish things you never thought possible. One of the greatest advantages of small steps is that they're achievable. When you set out to accomplish something big, it's easy to get discouraged by how far you have to go. But focusing on small, actionable steps makes the process less intimidating. Instead of worrying about the entire mountain you have to climb, you concentrate on the next foothold. And as you conquer each small challenge, you build confidence and motivation to keep going. Progress, no matter how small, fuels belief in yourself. Small steps also create habits outside the foundation of success. When you repeatedly take small, positive actions, they become second nature. You don't have to think about them, they just happen. Over time, these habits accumulate into massive results. For example, reading just 10 pages of a book every day might not seem like much. But over a year, that's 3,650 pages, a significant amount of knowledge gained through a simple, consistent habit. The same principle applies to any area of your life. Another important aspect of small steps is that they allow you to learn and adapt as you go. When you take things one step at a time, you have the opportunity to evaluate what's working and what's not. You can make adjustments without feeling like you've wasted a massive amount of time or effort. This approach not only reduces the pressure to be perfect, but also increases your chances of long-term success. It's about progress, not perfection, and small steps give you the flexibility to improve as you move forward. The power of small steps is often underestimated because their impact isn't immediately visible. But just like planting a seed, the results take time to show. You don't see the tree overnight, but with consistent care and attention, it grows stronger every day. It's the same with your goals. The small actions you take today might not seem like they're making a difference, but they're laying the foundation for future success. The more consistent you are with these steps, the stronger your foundation becomes. Ultimately, small steps teach you patience and persistence. In a world that glorifies instant gratification, it's easy to feel like you're not moving fast enough or achieving enough. But the truth is, real, sustainable success takes time. It's not about quick fixes or shortcuts. It's about showing up every day, doing the work, and trusting the process. Each small step brings you closer to your goals. Hype is exciting, isn't it? It's that rush of energy you feel when you start something new, the buzz of motivation that tells you this time will be different. But here's the thing, hype is temporary. It's like a sugar high intense for a moment, but it fades just as quickly. Habits, on the other hand, are steady. They don't depend on excitement or external energy. They're built on consistency and discipline. If you want to achieve anything meaningful, you have to stop chasing the hype and start focusing on building habits that last. Hype makes you feel like you're invincible in the beginning. It's why people go all in at the start of a new project, workout, plan, or business idea. They're energized, motivated, and ready to conquer the world. But as soon as the initial excitement wears off, as soon as things get tough, they lose steam. That's because they were relying on hype to carry them, instead of building the systems and routines that would keep them moving forward when the hype disappeared. Habits, unlike hype, are built for the long haul. They don't rely on your mood, energy levels, or how inspired you feel on any given day. A habit is automatic. It's something you do whether or not you're in the mood. It's brushing your teeth every morning or locking the door when you leave the house. You don't think about it, you just do it. When you turn your goals into habits, they stop being optional. They become a part of who you are and how you live your life. Building habits requires consistency and patience. This is where most people fail because habits aren't glamorous. They're not flashy or exciting. They're repetitive, mundane, and at times boring, but that's the point. Success isn't about the grand gestures, it's about the small, consistent actions you take every single day. The key is to start small. Focus on doing something so simple and easy that it feels almost impossible to fail. Over time, as you master the basics, you can build on them and create habits that support even your biggest goals. Another reason habits are more powerful than hype is that they help you conserve energy. When you rely on hype, you're constantly making decisions. Should I go to the gym today? Should I work on this project now or later? Decision fatigue sets in, and it becomes easier to skip the work altogether. Habits eliminate that problem. When something becomes a habit, it's no longer a decision, it's just part of your routine. This frees up mental energy for the things that really matter, allowing you to focus on performing at a higher level. Habits also help you stay grounded when life gets chaotic. Let's face it, life is unpredictable. There will be days when everything goes wrong, when distractions pile up, and when you feel like giving up. Hype won't help you in those moments, but habits will. If you build solid routines, they'll keep you anchored even when everything around you feels unstable. Habits provide structure and stability, giving you something to fall back on no matter what challenges come your way. The beauty of habits is that they create momentum. When you commit to small, consistent actions, those actions compound over time. What starts as a tiny ripple grows into a powerful wave. This is the secret behind so many successful people. They don't rely on bursts of energy or inspiration to get things done. They build habits that keep them moving forward day after day, year after year. Momentum builds confidence, and confidence keeps you pushing forward, even when the road gets tough. Hype might give you a spark, but habits are what keep the fire burning. They're the foundation of lasting success because they're not tied to fleeting emotions or external circumstances. Habits are built on discipline, consistency, and a commitment to the process. They require work, but the rewards are worth it. Because when you build habits, you're not just achieving goals, you're creating a lifestyle that supports success in every area of your life. Trust is one of the most critical components of success, and it starts with trusting yourself. Think about it. If you don't believe in your ability to follow through, how can you expect to achieve your goals? Consistency is the foundation of that trust. Every time you show up and do what you said you would do, you're proving to yourself that you're reliable. On the other hand, every time you skip, delay, or make excuses, you chip away at that trust. The relationship you have with yourself is built on the promises you keep or break. When you're consistent, you build a track record of reliability. It's like making deposits into a bank account. Each time you honor your commitments, you're adding to your account. Over time, those deposits grow into something substantial: confidence. Confidence doesn't come from luck or chance. It comes from knowing you can depend on yourself to do what's necessary. But when you're inconsistent, it's like making withdrawals. Skip too many days, give up too often, and suddenly you're in the red. That's when self-doubt creeps in. Consistency isn't about being perfect. It's about showing up repeatedly, even when it's hard. It's easy to do something once or twice, but real trust is built over time through repetition. When you consistently take action, you're proving to yourself that you're capable. You're reinforcing the belief that you have what it takes to succeed. This isn't just about accomplishing tasks. It's about changing the way you see yourself. Instead of someone who gives up or procrastinates, you start to see yourself as someone who follows through no matter what. Think about how trust works in relationships with others. If someone tells you they'll do something and follows through consistently, you begin to trust them. But if they only keep their promises half the time, you're hesitant to rely on them. The same applies to the relationship you have with yourself. When you keep breaking promises to yourself, skipping workouts, neglecting goals, or procrastinating, you teach yourself that your word doesn't mean much. Consistency repairs that damage. Each time you show up, you're rebuilding trust in your own reliability. Building trust in yourself also makes it easier to take risks and pursue bigger goals. Why? Because you know you handle whatever comes your way. When you're consistent, you develop a sense of control over your actions and outcomes. You stop waiting for the perfect circumstances and start creating them through your own effort. This self-trust becomes a powerful tool because it allows you to step outside your comfort zone. You're not afraid of failure because you know you'll keep going regardless. Consistency also strengthens your discipline and mental resilience. Each time you push through discomfort, resistance to stay consistent, you're training your mind to stay focused on the bigger picture. Over time, this builds mental toughness. It's not just about completing tasks, it's about developing the internal strength to stay committed, even when things get tough. This discipline becomes a cornerstone of your confidence, allowing you to trust yourself to handle challenges and setbacks with determination. Self-trust leads to greater authenticity. When you're consistent, you're not pretending to be someone you're not. You're not trying to impress others or live up to their expectations. You're simply doing what you know you need to do to achieve your goals. This creates a sense of alignment between your actions and your values, which is incredibly empowering. You stop seeking validation from others because you've already proven to yourself that you're capable. This kind of self-assurance is rare and incredibly valuable. The power of consistency in building self-trust can't be overstated. Every small action you take, every time you honor your commitments to yourself, reinforces a cycle of confidence, discipline, and belief in your own abilities. It's not about grand gestures or overnight success. It's about the quiet, steady work of showing up every day. When you trust yourself, you become unstoppable because you know deep down that you'll always do what's necessary to move forward. When you set out to achieve something significant, you have to prepare for the long haul. Success is not an overnight event, and the road to reaching your goals is rarely a straight line. It's filled with twists, turns, setbacks, and delays. The people who make it aren't the ones looking for instant gratification. They're the ones who are ready to commit to the process for as long as it takes. The long haul mindset isn't glamorous, but it's necessary because real, sustainable progress takes time and patience. One of the first steps to preparing for the long haul is shifting your mindset. You can't look at success as a one-time event. You have to see it as a journey. That means falling in love with the process, not just the end result. If you're only focused on reaching the finish line, you'll get discouraged when things take longer than expected. But when you embrace the journey, you find value in every step, every lesson, every challenge, and every small victory along the way. This mindset keeps you grounded and motivated even when progress feels slow. The long haul also requires resilience. Life will throw obstacles in your path, and it's easy to feel like giving up when things don't go as planned. But setbacks are not failures, they're opportunities to learn and grow. Every time you face a challenge and push through, you're building the strength and discipline needed to keep going. Resilience isn't just about bouncing back, it's about moving forward with even more determination. This kind of grit only comes when you're committed to the long haul, understanding that setbacks are just part of the process. Consistency is another critical component of the long haul. You have to show up day after day, even when it feels like your efforts aren't paying off. Progress isn't always visible in the moment, but that doesn't mean it's not happening. Imagine planting a seed. For weeks, you might see nothing but dirt, but beneath the surface, roots are growing. The same is true for your goals. The small, consistent actions you take every day are laying the foundation for future success, even if you can't see the results yet. Patience is a virtue you must cultivate when you're in it for the long haul. In a world that glorifies quick results and instant gratification, it's easy to feel like you're falling behind if you're not seeing immediate success. But great things take time. A strong foundation isn't built overnight, and neither are meaningful achievements. Patience allows you to stay focused and persistent, trusting that your hard work will pay off in the end. It's not about waiting passively, it's about working diligently while understanding that the rewards may take time to materialize. Another key aspect of preparing for the long haul is managing your energy and avoiding burnout. If you try to sprint through a marathon, you'll exhaust yourself before you've even reached the halfway point. Success isn't about working as hard as possible for a short period. It's about pacing yourself so you can sustain your efforts over the long term. That means taking care of your physical and mental health, prioritizing rest and finding balance. The goal is not just to succeed, but to succeed in a way that is sustainable and fulfilling. Having a clear vision of your why is essential for staying committed to the long haul. When things get tough, and they will, it's your purpose that will keep you going. Your why is the reason you started in the first place, the thing that drives you to keep pushing when motivation fades. Whether it's providing for your family, achieving personal fulfillment, or leaving a legacy, your purpose is the anchor that keeps you steady during the storms. Without a strong why, it's easy to lose focus and give up when the journey gets hard. Finally, preparing for the long haul means celebrating progress, not just perfection. Too often, people wait until they've achieved their ultimate goal to feel proud of themselves. But that's a mistake. Every small step forward is worth acknowledging because it represents growth. When you celebrate your progress, you stay motivated and remind yourself that you're moving in the right direction. This mindset shifts your focus from how far you have to go to how far you've already come, keeping you energized and ready for whatever challenges lie ahead. You said, adjust, don't quit, expand it, and don't add any hitting sentence and make it lengthy of a paragraph. ChatGPT said, ChatGPT, adjust, don't quit. When things don't go as planned, the first instinct for many is to quit. But quitting should never be the default response to obstacles. Success isn't about avoiding problems, it's about learning how to adapt to them. When the original plan falls apart, you don't throw in the towel, you adjust. You evaluate what went wrong, make the necessary changes, and keep moving forward. Adjusting isn't a sign of failure. It's a mark of resilience and stability. It's how you prove to yourself and the world that you're committed to your goals, no matter what. Life is unpredictable, and challenges will arise that you couldn't have anticipated. That's not a reason to give up. It's an opportunity to grow. Adapting to circumstances doesn't mean lowering your standards or abandoning your vision. It means finding new ways to achieve your goals when the old ways no longer work. Every successful person has had to pivot at some point in their journey. The ability to adjust keeps you in the game when others would quit. It's the difference between stumbling and staying down or stumbling and getting back up stronger. Adjusting requires humility. You have to be willing to admit when something isn't working. That's not failure, it's wisdom. Too often, people stick to a failing strategy because they're too proud to change course. But adjusting doesn't mean you were wrong to start with. It means you're smart enough to recognize when it's time to try something different. This willingness to adapt separates those who succeed from those who settle. It's not about being perfect, it's about being persistent and resourceful. Adjusting also means being flexible with your methods, but firm with your goals. Your destination stays the same, but the path you take to get there might need to change. And think of it like driving to a new city. If a road is closed, you don't turn around and go home, you find a different route. The same applies to your dreams. Detours are inevitable, but they don't have to stop you. By adjusting your approach, you ensure that obstacles are temporary setbacks, not permanent roadblocks. When you adjust instead of quitting, you're building resilience. Resilience is like a muscle that gets stronger every time you face a challenge and find a way to overcome it. Each adjustment you make teaches you something new about yourself in your journey. You learn what works and what doesn't. You develop problem-solving skills and a mindset that thrives under pressure. This resilience becomes a powerful tool, helping you stay focused and determined even when the odds seem stacked against you. Adjusting also helps you maintain momentum. Quitting stops all progress, but adjusting keeps you moving forward, even if it's at a slower pace. Momentum is one of the most valuable assets in any journey because it's easier to keep going once you've started. By making adjustments, you're staying in the game, you're giving yourself a chance to build on what you've already achieved instead of starting over from scratch. Progress, no matter how small, keeps your vision alive and your goals within reach. Adjustments often reveal strengths and opportunities you didn't know you had. Sometimes the original plan limits your potential because it's based on what you knew at the time. But as you move forward, you gain new experiences and insights. Adjusting allows you to incorporate that knowledge and grow in ways you couldn't have anticipated. It's a chance to refine your strategy and align it more closely with your evolving goals. Every adjustment makes you better prepared for future challenges. Finally, adjusting shows your commitment to your goals. It's easy to stay motivated when everything goes smoothly, but real dedication is proven when things get tough. By adjusting instead of quitting, you're demonstrating that your goals matter to you. You're showing yourself that you're willing to do whatever it takes to succeed. This level of commitment not only brings you closer to achieving your dreams, but also builds the kind of character that can handle anything life throws your way. Accountability is one of the most powerful tools you can use to stay on track and achieve your goals. When you surround yourself with accountability, you're creating an environment where excuses have no place and commitment becomes your standard. It's not about being perfect. It's about having people, systems, or structures in place that hold you to the promises you've made to yourself. Accountability isn't just about external pressure. It's about building a foundation of support and discipline that helps you stay consistent, focused, and determined. The first step in surrounding yourself with accountability is choosing the right people. You need individuals who believe in your potential and won't let you settle for less than your best. These are the people who will call you out when you're slacking and encourage you when you're struggling. They're not afraid to give you tough love because they care about your growth. Surrounding yourself with people who challenge and inspire you ensures that you're always striving to reach your highest potential. Accountability partners or groups can be game changers. Whether it's a mentor, a coach, a friend, or a team, having someone to check in with regularly creates a sense of responsibility. When you know someone else is invested in your progress, you're less likely to procrastinate or make excuses. Accountability groups also create a sense of camaraderie and shared purpose. When you're part of a group working towards similar goals, you're motivated not just by your own progress, but by the collective energy and commitment of the group. Accountability isn't just about other people, it's also about the systems you put in place. These systems could be as simple as a daily checklist, a progress tracker, or setting deadlines for yourself. The key is to create structures that make it easy to measure your progress and identify areas where you're falling short. Systems remove the guesswork from your efforts and give you a clear picture of what needs to be done. They also create a sense of discipline, making your goals feel less like wishes and more like commitments. When you surround yourself with accountability, you're less likely to fall into the trap of self-deception. It's easy to justify skipping a workout, missing a deadline, or slacking off when no one else knows about your goals. But when you shared your intentions with someone else, it becomes harder to make excuses. Accountability forces you to confront your actions and take ownership of your decisions. This level of honesty is uncomfortable at times, but it's also incredibly empowering because it pushes you to stay true to your word. Accountability also provides a safety net for when motivation fades. No one stays motivated 100% of the time. That's just reality. But when you have accountability, you don't rely solely on motivation to keep going. Instead, you rely on the structures and people around you to keep you moving forward. On the days when you don't feel like showing up, accountability ensures that you still do the work. It's the difference between giving up and pushing through when times get tough. Surrounding yourself with accountability creates a culture of growth. When you're around people who are committed to their own progress, it inspires you to do the same. You start to adopt their habits, mindset, and your work ethic. This positive peer pressure can be a powerful force for change. You're not just accountable to others, you're also influenced by their example. This kind of environment fosters a sense of collective responsibility where everyone is lifting each other up and pushing each other forward. Finally, accountability builds integrity. When you consistently follow through on your commitments, you're proving to yourself and others that you're reliable. This strengthens your self-confidence and earns the respect of those around you. Over time, accountability becomes less about external pressure and more about internal discipline. You start holding yourself accountable because you've developed the habit of doing what you said you would do. This integrity becomes the foundation of your success, helping you achieve your goals and build a life you're proud of. When the road gets tough and obstacles seem endless, the key to staying on course is to remember your why. Your why is the reason you started, the purpose behind your efforts, and the fire that drives you to keep going. It's not just a fleeting thought, it's your anchor. Your why reminds you that what you're working to work is bigger than the discomfort, bigger than the setbacks, and bigger than the temptation to quit. Without a clear why, it's easy to lose focus and motivation when things don't go as planned. Your why gives meaning to your actions. It transforms what might otherwise feel like mundane, repetitive tasks into purposeful steps toward a greater goal. When you're clear about why you're doing something, even the hard work feels worthwhile. You're not just grinding aimlessly, you're building something meaningful. Whether it's providing for your family, achieving personal growth, or making an impact in the world, your why infuses your journey with significance, reminding you that every sacrifice and effort has a purpose. There will be moments when you feel like giving up. Maybe the results aren't coming as quickly as you hope, or the challenges feel insurmountable. In those moments, your why is what keeps you grounded. It's the voice in your head that says, this is why I started, and this is why I can't stop now. When the immediate rewards aren't visible, your why keeps you focused on the bigger picture. It's not about where you are right now, it's about where you're going and what you're working toward. Remembering your why also keeps you aligned with your values. In the chaos of life, it's easy to get distracted by short-term gains or the opinions of others. But when you're connected to your why, you make decisions that are true to who you are and what matters most to you. It acts as a compass, guiding you through uncertainty and helping you prioritize what's truly important. Your why keeps you from chasing things that don't align with your vision, ensuring that you're always purposeful. Your why is a source of strength. It's what pushes you to wake up early, stay late, and go the extra mile when others would call it quits. It's the fuel that powers your persistence and the foundation of your resilience. When you remember your why, you tap into a level of determination that goes beyond surface level motivation. It's not just about wanting something, it's about being driven by a deep, unshakable sense of purpose that won't let you settle for anything less than your best. Remembering your why also helps you bounce back from setbacks. When you face failure or rejection, it's easy to feel defeated. But your why reminds you that the journey is bigger than any single obstacle. It gives you the perspective to see setbacks as temporary and growth as a constant. Instead of getting stuck in frustration or self-doubt, you use your why as a reminder of what's at stake and why it's worth getting back up. Your why turns failure into a stepping stone instead of a stopping point. Your why connects you to others. Often, our goals aren't just about ourselves, they're about the people we care about, the communities we serve, or the legacy we want to leave behind. When you remember your why, you're reminded of the impact your actions have on others. This connection gives your journey an added layer of accountability and inspiration. You're not just working for your own success, you're working to make a difference for those who depend on you or benefit from your efforts. Finally, remembering your why helps you stay consistent over the long haul. Goals take time to achieve, and the path is rarely smooth. Motivation will come and go, but your why is constant. It's the anchor that keeps you steady during storms and the light that guides you through darkness. When you're clear on why you started, you're less likely to be swayed by temporary challenges or distractions. Your why keeps you moving forward, reminding you that every step, no matter how small, brings you closer to the life you envision.